Okay, so you ready for this one? We're diving into the world of football, A&D, YouTube.
Interesting combo, right?
Yeah. You know Cristiano Ronaldo.
Of course. The football legend.
Exactly. Well, he sat down with Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast? You mean the American YouTuber, the guy who does those crazy challenges and gives away tons of money?
Yeah, him. And their conversation, it's pure gold. We're going to break it all down for you in this deep dive.
I think what's fascinating here is how this whole conversation shows you, like, the power dynamics of fame.
Oh, that's good.
Like, in the digital age, right? You've got Ronaldo, a total legend in sports. He's venturing into the YouTube world.
Which is where Mr. Beast is king.
Exactly.
So we're going to unpack all that, give you the best parts. Like Mr. Beast actually gives Ronaldo advice on how to build a YouTube audience.
Which you'd think he wouldn't need help with, right?
Right. The guy is like globally famous.
But YouTube's a whole different beast.
It really is.
Like, Mr. Beast built his channel over, what, 13 years? Something like that.
Yeah, it was a long time.
And he was blown away by how fast Ronaldo got to 60 million subscribers.
Like a month, right?
Yeah, just a month. So even for someone as famous as Ronaldo, there's stuff to learn about YouTube.
Definitely. And Mr. Beast had some really good advice.
Yeah, like what?
Well, first he suggested collabs with other footballers.
Which makes a ton of sense on YouTube.
Yeah, you get to tap into each other's audiences.
Imagine like Ronaldo and Messi doing a video together.
Stop. My brain would explode.
Right. Instant viral hit.
And then Mr. Beast's other suggestion was like reacting to his own highlights.
Oh, that's a good one.
He even said, imagine Ronaldo reacting to his own bicycle kick goal.
Oh, man, that'd be amazing. Mr. Beast really gets how to make content go viral.
He's a master.
Yeah.
And he even gave Ronaldo advice about thumbnails.
Thumbnails? Like the little pictures on YouTube?
Yeah. He was like, make sure you use high-quality photos with a closed-mouth smile.
Interesting. I never thought about that.
It's like your first impression, right?
Yeah.
You got to look good, even in a tiny picture.
I guess it's kind of like, dressing well for a job interview or something.
Exactly. Presentation matters.
First impressions are everything.
So we've got the YouTube stuff down now. Let's talk global fandom.
Ooh, yeah. Ronaldo's fans are worldwide.
He said his biggest fan base is in South America.
And he told this crazy story about a hotel evacuation in Chile.
Because of his fans.
Yeah, like they were so passionate they had to evacuate the whole hotel.
Wow, that's intense. I mean, U.S. fans, they're pretty chill in comparison.
Totally different vibe.
Makes you wonder how celebrities handle that level of attention constantly,
Like, how do you stay grounded with that kind of fandom? It's a good question.
And speaking of fang, Mr. B said something kind of funny.
What's that?
He hates flying commercial.
Oh, who doesn't? But he's got the money to fly private, right?
You would think. But it's kind of relatable,
Yeah.
Like even super successful people have normal annoyances.
I guess even Mr. Beast has to deal with the middle seat sometimes.
Uh-huh.
It would be hilarious, though, if Ronaldo, flew commercial in disguise and filmed people's reactions.
Oh my gosh, yes. As they slowly realize who they're sitting next to.
That would be amazing content.
Okay, so we've covered YouTube and global fandom now. Let's get into something really interesting. Ronaldo's future.
He's not getting any younger, is he?
He's almost 40, but get this, he wants to keep playing until he's 100.
Whoa, until he's 100?
Yeah.
That's insane.
He's like LeBron James, defying age expectations.
These guys are something else.
Ronaldo even talked about playing with his son someday.
His son? How old is he?
He's 14 now.
Wow, a father-son duo on the field, that would be something else.
Right, and it shows how driven Ronaldo is.
Yeah, he's not just thinking about winning, he's thinking about his legacy inspiring the next generation.
Totally. And then you've got Mr. Beast with his crazy work ethic.
He doesn't stop, always coming up with new ideas, new challenges.
He even said, if I stopped working, what would I do? Watch TV.
Sounds about right.
Okay, so we've talked about Ronaldo's side. Now let's get into Mr. Beast's world.
The world of extreme challenges.
Oh yeah, he's done some wild stuff.
Tell me about it. I'm curious what he shared with Ronaldo.
Well, he was talking about some of his most extreme challenges, like the ones where he really suffered.
Suffered? Like, what kind of suffering are we talking about?
Like being buried alive for 7 days.
7 days, buried alive.
Yeah, they put him in a coffin, covered him with like 20,000 pounds of dirt.
Oh my God.
He said his back was killing him. There was a fly trap in there. It was rough.
I bet. I can't even imagine.
And then there was solitary confinement for 7 days.
So no human contact at all?
Nope. White padded room, totally soundproofed, no way to tell time.
Sounds awful.
He said it messed with his head big time.
I can only imagine.
And then there was the deserted island challenge.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that one.
7 days, all alone on a deserted island.
Talk about survival skills.
Ronaldo's reaction was priceless. He was like, "Brother, you're crazy, huh?"
Haha, I bet. I mean, would you watch someone suffer for entertainment?
Apparently millions of people do. Mr. Beast's got the views to prove it.
I guess there's something about watching people push their limits that's just fascinating.
All right, so we've touched on the suffering challenges, but Mr. Beast has done so much more.
Like, what else? Give me some examples.
He drifted on a raft for days, spent a week in an abandoned city. You name it, he's done it.
He's like the king of crazy YouTube challenges.
So let's focus on two of his most successful videos.
The ones that went mega viral.
Yeah. First, there's the real-life Squid Game video.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
600 million views. He recreated the whole show, 100 people competing for a $500,000 prize.
The logistics of that must have been insane.
Right. And then there's the Last to Leave Circle Challenge.
I think I've heard of that one.
Almost 500 million views. He had people standing in a circle for weeks. The last one left won a ton of money.
Weeks. Just standing there.
Yep. It's crazy.
So it's like an endurance challenge.
Yeah, but with a social experiment vibe, too.
It makes you wonder, what would you do for that kind of money? Would you stand in a circle for weeks?
I don't know if I could handle that.
Me neither.
Okay, what else?
Oh, and then there's his YouTubers in a cube video.
Sounds intriguing. What's that one about?
So he got all these famous YouTubers, put them in a giant cube.
A giant cube. Okay.
And the last one laughing got to donate $1 million to their subscriber.
That's a pretty cool concept.
Right. It broke the 24-hour view record, like 70 million views in a day.
Wow. No wonder he's so successful.
And to help Ronaldo understand it, he made this great analogy. He was like, it's like taking the 50 biggest football players and putting them in a room to do something.
I love that. He made it relatable to Ronaldo's world.
Yeah, he's a great communicator, that Mr. Beast.
So we've got YouTube down pat now.
Cool.
Let's talk about what these guys are into beyond their main gigs.
Okay. So Ronaldo's a big basketball fan.
No way. Really?
Yeah, he even gave a shout out to Steph Curry.
Interesting. I wouldn't have pegged him for a basketball fan.
And he's got his own water brand, too. Makes sense. Gotta stay hydrated.
He was saying how he wants to be associated with good products.
Yeah, when you're that famous, you want to endorse stuff that reflects your values, right?
Absolutely. And then get this. At the end of the conversation, Ronaldo invites Mr. Beast and his whole team to a game in Saudi Arabia.
Whoa. A personal invitation.
Yeah. And not just any game. It's against his rival, Al Hilal.
That's huge. Can you imagine the content they could create from that?
It would be epic. Behind-the-scenes footage, the atmosphere, the whole experience.
Talk about bridging worlds.
Yeah.
Football and YouTube coming together.
And that's where we'll leave it for now. We've covered a ton of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
It's amazing how much we've unpacked from just one conversation.
We'll take a break and be back soon to explore even more insights from this fascinating duo.
It's crazy, right? How Ronaldo and Mr. Beast, like both of them are so ambitious.
Yeah. But it's not just about being successful for them.
No, it's like they want to connect with people, leave a mark.
Legacy.
Yeah.
And it's not all online either.
Like that invitation to the game in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, man. Can you imagine Mr. Beast and his crew at a Ronaldo game?
The energy, the behind-the-scenes access.
It would be like a cultural exchange, too, you know? American YouTubers meeting Saudi football fans.
And it shows a lot about Ronaldo, like, inviting them personally.
It was a real invitation, too. Like, he really wants them to come.
Yeah, not just a polite, oh yeah, come sometime.
Exactly. Like, he wants to share that experience with them.
It's kind of generous, you know, for someone at his level of fame.
Totally. You don't always see that side of celebrities.
It makes him seem more human, right? Like he wants to connect with people even from different worlds.
And speaking of connecting with a new generation, remember Ronaldo talking about playing with his son?
Oh, yeah. Imagine that father and son on the same team.
It's kind of heartwarming, right? Like passing on the torch.
Adds a whole new layer to Ronaldo's goal of playing till he's 100.
Maybe it's not just about him anymore, you know? Maybe it's about building something his son could be part of.
A family legacy. Wow, that's beautiful.
And it shows how sports can bring people together.
Cross generations even. It's powerful.
So yeah, Ronaldo, the family man who knew.
It's a good reminder that celebrities are people too. Yeah. You know, they have families, they have personal goals.
Okay, enough with the warm fuzzies. Let's get back to business.
Business, you mean like branding and stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We talked about Ronaldo's water brand.
Yeah, and how he wants to be associated with quality products.
It's smart, right? Like he's using his fame to promote things he believes in.
It's more than just endorsements. It's building a whole brand.
Like the Ronaldo brand represents quality performance, all that.
It's a good lesson for anyone trying to build their personal brand.
Don't just slap your name on anything. Make it meaningful.
Now, Mr. Beast, he doesn't have a product line, but he's definitely got a brand.
Yeah, like generosity, giving back, pushing the limits.
He's not just entertaining, he's inspiring people.
Those cash giveaways, the acts of kindness, it all adds up.
It's like he's built a community around his channel.
And both of them, Ronaldo and Mr. Beast, they're all about connecting with people.
It's like a common thread, right? Whether it's inviting someone to a game or giving money to your viewers.
They get that relationships matter.
It's refreshing, you know, in a world that's so focused on competition.
So I got to ask, what do you think about their approaches to branding?
Ronaldo's all about product, Mr. Beast, more about personality.
Will those paths converge?
Yeah.
Diverge? Who knows?
It's a good question, and it shows how the whole idea of fame and branding is changing.
But hold on, let's not get too deep into that rabbit hole just yet.
Okay, good point. We've already covered so much.
What are some of the big takeaways for you so far?
I think what surprised me the most is how these two guys from different worlds,
Football and YouTube, you wouldn't think they'd have much in common.
but they do. They're both driven, ambitious. They want to make a difference.
It shows you there are different ways to be successful.
And it challenges our ideas of what it means to be famous or influential.
It's not just about the money or the followers, it's about something more.
And it shows the importance of staying open to new experiences.
Learning from people who are different from you.
Exactly. That's how you grow and achieve great things.
Okay, now before we move on, there's one more thing I want to explore.
Shoot. What is it?
Mr. Beast's whole thing with pushing boundaries, embracing discomfort.
Oh, yeah. The suffering aspect of his challenges.
Like, seriously, the guy buried himself alive for a week,
It's wild, right? Like, what makes someone do that?
and millions of people watch it. So it's not just him, it's us too.
I guess there's something about seeing someone push their limits that we find fascinating.
It's like a modern-day gladiatorial arena.
Yeah, but instead of fighting lions, it's solitary confinement or deserted islands.
In Mr. Beast, he knows his audience. He knows people love to watch him suffer.
It's kind of messed up, but also kind of brilliant.
It makes you think about what entertainment is becoming.
Like, are we all just drawn to extremes now?
It's a good question, and I don't know the answer.
Me neither. But you gotta give Mr. Beast credit. He knows how to put on a show.
He's a master storyteller, a visionary. He's built an empire out of this stuff.
And he's not afraid to experiment, to try new things, even if they're crazy.
That's a good lesson for all of us, right? Don't be afraid to take risks, to step outside your comfort zone.
Remember that line he said, "If I stopped working, what would I do? Watch TV."
It's so simple, but so powerful.
It's like he's found his purpose and he's going all in.
It's inspiring in a way.
Yeah.
You know, like finding something you're passionate about and just going for it.
Okay, so in this part, we've talked about global fame, personal branding,
The psychology of entertainment.
the importance of pursuing your passions.
And it all started with a conversation between a football legend and a YouTube star.
Pretty amazing, right?
Before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a question.
Okay, I'm listening.
What are your passions? What drives you to get up every day?
And how can you use those passions to make a difference in the world?
Remember, inspiration can come from anywhere.
Even from a conversation between two guys who seem worlds apart.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and never stop pushing yourself. Wow, we covered a ton of ground in this deep dive into Ronaldo and Mr. Beast.
It's amazing how much we got out of just one conversation, right? From YouTube to global fame to personal branding.
And what really struck me is how much of what they talked about applies to, like, anyone.
Yeah, not just YouTubers or athletes.
Exactly. Like, anyone trying to achieve their goals can learn something from these guys.
Totally. Like, one of the big takeaways for me is the importance of authenticity.
Authenticity. What do you mean by that?
Like being true to yourself. You know? Not trying to be someone you're not.
Oh, I get it. Like Ronaldo's drive, his intensity, that's just who he is.
Right. And Mr. Beast, with his crazy challenges, he's not afraid to be himself, even if it's kind of weird.
And it works for them. People connect with that realness.
Yeah. It cuts through all the noise, you know, like in a world where everyone's trying to be perfect or whatever.
It's refreshing to see people just being themselves and owning it.
And it's not just about being yourself. It's also about evolving constantly.
Evolving.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon.
Not quite. But like Ronaldo, he's always pushing his limits, trying new training techniques.
Yeah. He's not afraid to reinvent himself.
And Mr. Beast's always experimenting with new content ideas, new ways to engage his audience.
They both understand that you can't just stay still. You got to keep moving forward.
Exactly. And that's so important in any field, right? The world's changing so fast, you got to adapt.
Don't be afraid to try new things, to experiment, to even fail sometimes.
Because that's how you learn and grow.
Okay, but back to the fame thing for a second. How do these guys handle the pressure?
It's a good question. Like, they're both so famous. Every move they make is watched, analyzed.
And yet they both seem pretty grounded. They haven't let it go to their heads.
I think it's about having a strong sense of self, knowing who you are outside of the fame.
And surrounding yourself with good people.
Yeah, people who keep you grounded.
Because at the end of the day, they're just people.
Right.
With their own dreams, their own struggles.
It's easy to forget that when you see them on screen or on the field.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a few final thoughts.
Okay, hit me.
Embrace the challenges. Embrace the unknown. Embrace the journey.
That's good.
Stay curious. Stay engaged. And never stop exploring the possibilities.
And remember, inspiration can come from anywhere.
Even from a conversation between a football superstar and a YouTube prankster.
Who would have thought right?
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.